10 Lessons to Master Your Mind and Control Your Emotions. Stoicism. The mind that is anxious about the future is miserable. Seneca. Have you ever wondered why your emotions seem to control you? 1 minute you're focused and calm, and the next, a passing remark or minor setback can throw off your entire day. Imagine if you could navigate your emotions with ease, staying balanced no matter what life throws at you. Good news. You can. In today's video on Stoic In Your Life, we'll uncover 10 timeless lessons from Stoic philosophy to help you master your mind and take charge of your emotions. These principles won't turn you into an emotionless robot. Instead, they'll help you understand your feelings, manage your reactions, and maintain calm through life's ups and downs. Stick around, especially for the last lesson. It might be the key to transforming tough moments into growth. Before we jump in, here's a story that perfectly illustrates the power of mental mastery. 1. Self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is the foundation upon which true mental mastery is built, and without it, our minds remain like a bustling marketplace, overwhelmed with the chaotic chatter of desires, fears, and fleeting emotions all competing for our attention. To achieve a measure of control over your mind and emotions, you must first understand the layers of your own mind, your beliefs, habits, triggers, and values. When you cultivate this understanding, you can step back and observe your impulses rather than being swept away by them. As Epictetus wisely stated, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. This quote reminds us that we cannot effectively respond to life's challenges unless we first know our inner world. Start by taking stock of your thoughts and feelings. A journal can be an invaluable tool in this practice. Set aside a few minutes each week to write not just about what happened in your life, but about your responses to those events. By exploring how and why you reacted in certain ways, you begin to notice patterns, uncover hidden insecurities, and see the motivations driving your actions. You may realize, for example, that certain situations repeatedly bring up feelings of frustration or anxiety, perhaps due to a long-held belief or expectation. By identifying these, you gain the power to shift your perspective and reshape your responses. Self-knowledge doesn't mean obsessing over every perceived flaw or aiming to change who you are fundamentally. Instead, it involves a gentle yet persistent curiosity about the forces that drive you. Acknowledging what angers, excites, or worries you allows you to handle life's ups and downs with greater clarity. For example, if you know that you often react impulsively to criticism, this awareness gives you a pause, a moment to choose a more balanced response instead of instantly feeling offended. Seneca once said, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." By knowing yourself, you also gain freedom from the many expectations you may place on the future, allowing you to experience the present moment more fully, with less anxiety about what may come. In today's world, self-knowledge is as vital as ever. We're constantly bombarded with media and external influences, each tugging at our desires, fears, and insecurities. This makes it easy to lose sight of who we truly are, drifting through life guided not by our inner compass, but by the trends and opinions of others. Self-reflection helps ground us, keeping us anchored to our values and principles, which is essential in maintaining a balanced emotional state. The power of self-knowledge lies in its ability to transform impulsive emotional reactions into thoughtful, intentional responses. Instead of letting each setback or success dictate your mood and direction, you gain the resilience to remain steady, centered, and proactive. Another practical application of self-knowledge lies in setting boundaries for oneself, something often overlooked in the pursuit of external goals. By understanding your limits and values, you avoid taking on responsibilities or relationships that drain you emotionally or violate your principles. When you know what truly matters to you, you naturally prioritize those things and let go of distractions that do not align with your purpose. Marcus Aurelius advised, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now." This idea is empowering because it reminds us that external circumstances cannot disturb our peace unless we allow them to. By cultivating self-knowledge, we begin to understand our judgments, paving the way to make clearer, more grounded choices. As you deepen your self-understanding, you may also find that certain emotions lose their grip over you. For instance, understanding that your anger often stems from unmet expectations, or that your sadness is connected to a desire for control, can help you manage these feelings before they spiral. The key is not to suppress emotions, but to view them with curiosity and compassion, knowing that each emotion has a root cause, often tied to personal beliefs and past experiences. With self-knowledge, these emotions no longer feel like unmanageable storms. They become signals guiding you to adjust your outlook or expectations. Incorporating Stoic practices, such as daily reflection or visualizing your values, can help reinforce this self-awareness. The journey toward self-knowledge is one of patience and persistence. Each insight you gain about yourself helps you step into a more peaceful, intentional way of living. It requires discipline, a willingness to face uncomfortable truths, and a steady commitment to growth. But the rewards are transformative. By knowing yourself, you equip yourself to navigate life's challenges with greater ease, meet difficult moments with resilience, and live in harmony with your values. This isn't about changing who you are, it's about revealing who you are beneath the noise and pressures of everyday life. 2. Strengthening self-esteem. Strengthening self-esteem is a cornerstone of resilience and personal growth. Think of self-esteem as a plant that, like any living thing, requires consistent nurturing to flourish. When you water a plant, give it sunlight, and care for it regularly, it grows strong and vibrant. Neglect it, and it begins to wither. Similarly, your self-esteem needs regular nourishment to thrive. This doesn't mean grand gestures of self-appreciation. It's the small, simple acts of self-acknowledgement that build a stable foundation. Start by recognizing your daily victories, no matter how small they may seem. Did you get up and move forward, even on a tough day? Did you complete a task you'd been putting off? Each of these actions is like a drop of water that sustains the roots of your self-esteem. By celebrating these small accomplishments, you begin to build a sturdy foundation within yourself that supports resilience and confidence over time. Setting realistic daily goals is another powerful way to nurture your self-esteem. These don't have to be monumental. In fact, small, achievable goals, like reading a few pages of a book, taking a short walk, or making that one difficult phone call, provide a steady source of fulfillment. Each time you reach a goal, you experience a small sense of success, which reinforces your sense of worth. The Stoic approach to self-esteem reminds us that true self-worth isn't about constantly telling ourselves we're amazing or putting ourselves on a pedestal. It's about seeing ourselves with clarity and honesty. This kind of self-respect isn't arrogant or boastful. It's grounded in a humble awareness of our strengths and weaknesses, giving us the courage to acknowledge our value without seeking validation from others. To solidify this sense of self-worth, take some time to reflect on your positive qualities. Make a list of things you're good at, talents you possess, or traits you're proud of. It might feel strange at first, but revisiting these qualities regularly can help counterbalance the negative self-criticism that we all tend to engage in. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to feel lost or inadequate, especially when we're constantly exposed to others' achievements and carefully curated successes on social media. Have you ever scrolled through a feed and felt like everyone else was moving faster, doing better, or achieving more? This feeling is common, but it's crucial to remember that self-worth is not determined by comparison. Comparing yourself to others weakens your self-esteem because it shifts your focus from your own progress to an unrealistic standard. A helpful practice is to celebrate your journey at your own pace, appreciating the progress you've made. As Marcus Aurelius advised, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Self-esteem, then, becomes a kind of armor, a steady reminder that you are enough as you are in each moment. This story, it's a man named Alex in his 40s. had always felt he fell short of his goals and the expectations of others. Each day felt like a struggle to keep up, to prove himself in the eyes of those around him. One day, after a particularly tough week, a friend suggested he try a different approach, to stop focusing on everyone else's opinions and instead focus on small daily goals he could complete for his own satisfaction. Alex began by setting simple tasks: finishing a book, calling a family member, organizing his workspace. Each time he completed a goal, he made a note of it, and gradually, he started to feel more grounded. He stopped worrying as much about what others thought because he was building his own steady sense of accomplishment. Through this process, he realized that self-esteem is less about grand achievements and more about the quiet, consistent care he gave himself each day. By focusing on what you can control and celebrating the little victories, you strengthen the roots of your self-esteem, making it resilient enough to face life's inevitable challenges with a calm and confident mindset. True self-esteem, then, is not just about feeling good in ideal circumstances. It's about cultivating an inner stability that doesn't waver with external ups and downs. Remember to nurture yourself each day, not by comparing yourself to others, but by honoring your unique path and embracing the journey. The lessons we learn here, anchored in Stoic wisdom, teach us that a solid sense of self-esteem is essential for facing life's challenges with courage and composure. In every small victory, you're laying the groundwork for a resilient, enduring sense of worth. 3. Setting boundary. Setting boundaries is an essential practice for maintaining emotional well-being and personal independence. Without boundaries, you're like a boat without a compass, drifting aimlessly through the sea of others' expectations and demands, pulled in every direction except the one that truly matters to you. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, emphasized that while we cannot control other people or external events, we have absolute control over our own minds and actions. Setting boundaries is how we take that control. It allows us to protect our energy, safeguard our peace of mind, and remain aligned with our values, even when the world around us is chaotic. So, why do so many of us struggle to set boundaries? Maybe it's fear. Fear of disappointing others, fear of being perceived as selfish, or fear of conflict. But have you ever thought about how much energy you lose when you let others dictate your time, emotions, and choices? To start setting boundaries, the first and most crucial step is identifying what's truly important to you. Imagine for a moment that you're planning a road trip. You wouldn't get in the car and drive aimlessly, would you? Instead, you'd choose a destination, map out your stops, and pack what you need. Knowing your priorities works the same way. It gives you clarity about where you're going and what you're willing to accept along the way. When you know what really matters to you, saying no becomes an act of self-respect, not selfishness. As Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Saying no is not about shutting people out. It's about creating a space for what brings meaning to your life. Think of it like a buffet. Just because there are many dishes doesn't mean you have to sample them all. Choose what nourishes you and leave the rest. Once you've clarified your priorities, communicating your boundaries becomes the next essential step. This can feel intimidating, especially if you're not used to being assertive, but clear communication helps others understand and respect your limits. You don't have to broadcast them loudly or make dramatic announcements. Often, a simple, polite response is enough. For instance, if someone asks you to take on extra work, consider replying, "I appreciate the trust you have in me, but I need to focus on my current responsibilities." This is direct yet respectful and sends a clear message about your capacity. When you communicate boundaries openly, you're not only protecting yourself but also inviting others to see you as someone who values their time and well-being. The true beauty of boundaries lies in their ability to reduce anxiety and create space for what genuinely matters to you. As Seneca once noted, the mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. When you let others dictate your schedule, emotions, and focus, You're constantly reacting to life instead of choosing how to live it. Setting boundaries allows you to step back from this reactive state and design a life based on purpose, not pressure. Think about a time when you've overcommitted and felt overwhelmed. Maybe you said yes to attending an event when you really needed rest or agreed to a project you didn't have time for. How did that make you feel? Often such situations leave us drained and resentful, wishing we had respected our initial instincts. By setting clear limits, you're not only protecting yourself from burnout, but also ensuring that your energy goes toward what truly aligns with your values. In today's world, where demands on our time and energy seem endless, boundary setting is more crucial than ever. We live in a society that often praises relentless productivity and self-sacrifice, but at what cost? When you neglect boundaries, you risk losing touch with your own needs, and over time this can lead to stress, anxiety, and even physical exhaustion. Boundaries act as a protective barrier around your mental health. Without them, you might find yourself constantly saying yes out of habit, out of guilt, or even out of a sense of obligation, only to later feel the weight of regret. A Stoic mindset teaches us to focus on what we can control, our responses, our choices, and the way we spend our time. Setting boundaries is about taking responsibility for these choices, ensuring that they serve your well-being rather than draining it. When was the last time you said no to something that didn't serve your goals or values? How did it feel? Often, the initial discomfort of turning down a request is quickly replaced by a sense of relief and empowerment, as you realize that you're prioritizing your own needs and well-being. Saying no is, in essence, saying yes to yourself. The lessons we can learn from setting boundaries are invaluable. They remind us to act with intention, to be true to ourselves, and to prioritize what keeps us balanced and fulfilled. Boundaries are not about isolation. They're about creating an environment where you can thrive, where you are in control of how you invest your time and energy. As you practice setting boundaries, remember that this is a lifelong journey, a skill that grows stronger with each step. Each time you say no to something that doesn't align with your values, you're reinforcing your commitment to a life of purpose and emotional well-being. 4. Fostering independence. Fostering independence is about building a life that draws strength and fulfillment from within, rather than constantly seeking validation or direction from others. Imagine for a moment that your life is like a rich, layered chocolate cake. If you're always relying on someone else to bake it, you're left waiting, hoping that others will serve you the piece you want. But true independence means stepping into the role of the chef in your own kitchen, choosing the ingredients of your happiness and crafting a life that reflects your unique tastes and values. This doesn't mean isolation. Rather, it's about cultivating a solid foundation within yourself so that you can approach relationships and challenges with confidence and self-respect. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Independence, then, is a practice of aligning your thoughts with your values and finding contentment in who you are and what you have. One powerful way to foster independence is by discovering activities that genuinely bring you joy and satisfaction without the need for outside approval. Think about a hobby or a skill that you can pursue for its own sake. Maybe it's learning to play a musical instrument, trying your hand at cooking, taking long walks in nature, or dedicating time to physical fitness. When you engage in solo activities like these, you strengthen your inner world and build a relationship with yourself that isn't based on others' opinions or validations. This time spent in your own company helps you develop resilience, patience, and self-reliance, traits that are essential for handling life's ups and downs. Another key aspect of independence is surrounding yourself with people who support your growth without requiring you to conform to their expectations. True friends, mentors, or partners understand that independence is crucial for personal growth and encourage you to stay true to yourself. They don't hold you back with their own fears or insecurities. Instead, they cheer you on as you pursue your goals and respect the boundaries you set for yourself. Have you ever been in a relationship, personal or professional, that made you feel small or trapped? as if you had to shrink parts of yourself to fit in. When you choose to surround yourself with people who value your independence, you create an environment that fosters growth rather than stifles it. Independence doesn't mean cutting off connections. Rather, it's about choosing relationships that empower you to become the best version of yourself. The Stoics believed that true happiness and peace come from within, not from external circumstances. Epictetus taught that, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This idea of mastery over oneself is central to Stoic thought, and it's closely tied to the concept of independence. When you cultivate an inner foundation that's stable and resilient, you become less vulnerable to the shifting tides of others' opinions and external events. By relying on yourself, you build a core of strength that can withstand criticism, rejection, or setbacks, allowing you to respond to life's challenges with calm and confidence. Think about a time when you faced a difficult situation. If your sense of self was rooted in someone else's approval, that experience might have shaken you. But when you draw strength from within, those experiences, while still challenging, don't have the same power to derail your peace of mind. Fostering independence also involves making choices that align with your own values, rather than the values imposed by society or others. In today's world, where we're constantly exposed to social media, trends, and opinions, it's easy to feel pressured to live up to external standards. But independence means taking the time to understand what truly matters to you, your own principles, goals, and dreams, and making decisions based on those. Now, ask yourself, what are the values that guide your life? Do your daily actions reflect those values, or are you often swayed by the expectations of others? When you make decisions from a place of self-awareness, you're able to live a life that feels authentic and fulfilling, one that resonates with who you truly are, not who others expect you to be. Over time, the practice of independence empowers you to handle your emotions and reactions with greater composure. When you're anchored in your own values and driven by your own sense of purpose, external events lose their power to throw you off course. As you strengthen this inner foundation, you'll find that your sense of fulfillment becomes less dependent on what others say or do. Independence doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifelong journey, a practice of returning to yourself, even when the world around you is chaotic. The more you cultivate it, the more resilient you become, able to face life's uncertainties with grace and strength. In nurturing your independence, you create a life that is both fulfilling and resilient, one where your happiness isn't contingent on anyone else's approval or actions. This sense of self-reliance frees you from the constant pull of external expectations, allowing you to enjoy relationships, work, and hobbies from a place of genuine interest and joy, rather than obligation. Remember, independence is not about isolation. It's about creating a stable inner world that can embrace and appreciate connections without losing itself. So take the time to understand what independence means to you. Explore activities that build self-reliance. Surround yourself with supportive people, and always check in with your values. In doing so, you'll find that independence not only strengthens your mind and emotional resilience, but also enriches your relationships and life experiences, creating a life that reflects your truest self. Congratulations on reaching this point. You're serious about transforming your mindset. Comment, "I am in control," to show your dedication to mastering your emotions. Stay tuned. There's plenty more insight to fuel your journey ahead. 5. Developing communication skills. Developing effective communication skills is a fundamental step in mastering your emotions and building strong, meaningful relationships. Good communication serves as the bridge between people, preventing misunderstandings and fostering connections that are rooted in respect and clarity. Think of it as learning to ride a bike. It may feel awkward or challenging at first, but with consistent practice, you gain a sense of balance and control, allowing you to navigate conversations smoothly and confidently. Effective communication isn't just about speaking well, it's also about listening deeply. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely noted, We have two ears and one mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This insight serves as a timeless reminder that understanding others requires more than just waiting for your turn to talk. It demands an openness to truly hearing and absorbing what is being said. One of the most powerful components of communication is assertiveness. Assertive communication doesn't mean being confrontational. Rather, it's about expressing your thoughts and feelings honestly, yet with respect for others. Imagine a scenario where someone makes a joke at your expense in front of others. In this moment, you have a choice. You could laugh it off uncomfortably, or you could respond calmly and assertively by saying something like, "I appreciate your humor, but I prefer to be treated with respect." By doing this, you're not only standing up for yourself, but you're also showing others how you wish to be treated, setting a standard for mutual respect in your interactions. Assertiveness builds self-respect, and it signals to others that while you're open to dialogue, you also have boundaries that are worth respecting. Listening is another crucial piece of the communication puzzle, and it's often overlooked. Many people listen only partially, focusing more on crafting their response rather than genuinely absorbing what the other person is saying. True listening, however, is an active skill that involves full presence and attention. When you listen actively, you demonstrate understanding through simple gestures, nodding, asking thoughtful questions, and refraining from interrupting. This approach not only fosters clearer communication, but also reduces emotional misunderstandings. How many conflicts could be avoided if we truly listened instead of preparing our defenses? When we listen mindfully, we honor the speaker's perspective, showing that we value what they have to say, and in turn, this often encourages them to extend the same respect back to us. Active listening builds empathy and helps us understand where the other person is coming from, which is key in managing emotional reactions within conversations. In today's fast-paced digital world, communication has taken on new challenges. With emails, texts, and social media interactions, there's a higher chance for words to be misinterpreted, and emotions can easily spiral as a result. Take the time to be clear and considerate with your words, and if something feels off, don't hesitate to address it calmly and directly. Clear communication helps prevent assumptions and emotional reactions, allowing you to respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. In Stoic terms, by taking responsibility for how we communicate, we cultivate a mind that is less disturbed by misunderstandings and more focused on maintaining harmony. Another important aspect of communication is empathy. Empathy allows us to step outside of our own perspectives and see things from another's point of view, which is incredibly powerful in maintaining healthy relationships. When we approach conversations with empathy, we are less likely to take things personally and more likely to respond with kindness and patience. Think about a recent conversation where you felt heard and understood. How did that affect your mood and your view of the other person? Now imagine providing that same experience to others. Empathy doesn't mean that we have to agree with everyone's opinions, but it does mean acknowledging their feelings and experiences as valid. This approach can diffuse tension, build trust, and allow for more meaningful exchanges. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the belief that we control only our own responses, not those of others. Effective communication, therefore, is about managing how we express ourselves and how we react to others. By improving your communication skills, we can reduce the likelihood of misunderstandings and emotional outbursts, creating interactions that are grounded in respect, clarity, and understanding. Remember that each interaction is an opportunity to strengthen your communication skills and to connect with others on a deeper, more authentic level. By investing in this practice, you're not just enhancing your relationships but also developing a calmer, more balanced approach to life itself. Communication, when done mindfully, becomes a tool not just for expressing thoughts, but for building connections, reducing conflicts, and bringing out the best in ourselves and others. 6. Practicing mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness is like holding a compass for the mind, guiding you through emotional storms without letting them pull you off course. Imagine it as a GPS, quietly directing you through challenging moments, helping you stay grounded and clear-headed even when everything around you seems chaotic. Mindfulness allows you to observe your emotions as they come and go, rather than letting them overwhelm you or drive impulsive reactions. By creating this mental space, you're able to respond to life thoughtfully and intentionally, rather than being pulled along by your emotions. It's a practice that takes time and patience, but each small step strengthens your capacity for calm and clarity. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote is a reminder that while we may not control the events around us, we hold immense power over our response to them, and mindfulness is the key to accessing that power. To begin developing mindfulness, consider incorporating short moments of meditation into your daily routine. You don't need hours of silence. Even 5 to 10 minutes of quiet breathing can center your mind and bring you back to a place of calm. Try it in the morning before the day's demands kick in, or in the evening to unwind. During these moments, focus on your breath, on each inhale and exhale, and gently bring your attention back whenever your mind starts to wander. This small practice creates a foundation of inner peace that you can carry throughout your day. Another effective way to practice mindfulness is by bringing it into everyday activities. Whether you're eating, walking, or even washing dishes, try to be fully present in the moment. Notice the sensations, sounds, and details around you, allowing yourself to engage with each experience without rushing or letting your mind drift. By practicing mindfulness in these simple moments, you build resilience that can help you navigate more challenging situations. The Stoics taught that life is a constant ebb and flow of events beyond our control, and mindfulness gives us the skill to stay steady amid these fluctuations. Imagine watching your emotions as though they were clouds drifting across the sky. Some days the sky is bright and clear, while on others, it's filled with dark clouds. But just like the clouds, emotions are temporary. They come and go, passing if you let them, rather than lingering if you chase after them. With mindfulness, you can observe these emotions without getting attached, letting them pass naturally, rather than reacting in ways that could add to your stress. In today's fast-paced, often overwhelming world, mindfulness is more relevant than ever. It can be a tool to help us slow down, reflect, and respond to life's challenges in a more composed manner. Think about how often we rush from task to task, barely pausing to check in with ourselves. By practicing mindfulness, we give ourselves a chance to step back, notice how we're feeling, and approach each task with a fresh perspective. Over time, this can reduce stress, improve our focus, and strengthen our emotional resilience. And it's not just about stress. Mindfulness has been shown to improve relationships as well. When you're fully present with others, listening without thinking of your next response, observing without judgment, you foster deeper connections and a greater sense of empathy. Mindfulness also helps us accept the reality of life's ups and downs. The Stoics knew that life's events are out of our control, but by training ourselves to approach each moment mindfully, we build a mental buffer between our emotions and our responses. Instead of reacting immediately to a stressful event or upsetting news, we can pause, breathe, and choose a response that aligns with our values and goals. This approach doesn't eliminate emotions. It helps us understand and manage them. Imagine the strength you could build by facing life's uncertainties with a calm, mindful presence, unshaken by each setback or success. As you practice mindfulness, you start to see that life's challenges don't have to control your peace of mind. Rather, they become opportunities to deepen your resilience and self-awareness. Over time, incorporating mindfulness into your life creates a more resilient mindset. When practiced regularly, mindfulness gives you the clarity and strength to face life's inevitable storms without getting swept away. Each moment of calm you cultivate, each pause you take, is like building a foundation of mental stability that supports you through both the small annoyances and the bigger challenges. This practice doesn't eliminate difficulties, but it changes your relationship with them, allowing you to approach each situation with greater calm and perspective. So, as you go forward, try weaving mindfulness into your daily life. Start small, be patient, and remember that every effort counts. By cultivating this practice, you're not only building a skill to help you stay present, you're creating a powerful tool for navigating life with greater clarity, emotional strength, and inner peace. 7. Building a support network. Building a support network is one of the most valuable investments you can make for personal growth and emotional resilience. Having strong relationships is like having a well-equipped toolbox. Each person brings unique qualities and perspectives that help you navigate life's complexities. However, while a supportive network can uplift and empower, it's crucial to find a balance between connection and independence. Consider life as a game of Tetris, where each piece is unique and essential for keeping the structure balanced. Similarly, a mix of different types of friends and mentors can bring balance and functionality to your life, each adding a distinct element that helps you stay grounded and adaptable. A reliable support network gives you the freedom to stand on your own, knowing that when challenges arise, you have people you can turn to for both encouragement and honest perspective. Surrounding yourself with people who support and challenge you is essential for long-term growth. Real friends aren't just there to celebrate your successes or to agree with everything you say. They're there to offer constructive feedback and push you to be the best version of yourself. They're the ones who, while cheering you on, aren't afraid to give you a gentle nudge if they see you veering off course. Think of the friends who believe in your dreams but also aren't afraid to ask the tough questions. This balance between encouragement and honesty is what fosters mutual respect and true understanding. The Stoic philosopher Seneca famously said, "One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood." This profound statement reminds us that true support isn't about blind agreement. It's about a shared commitment to each other's growth. When you have people around you who understand and accept you but also aren't afraid to hold you accountable, you gain an invaluable resource for self-discovery and improvement. In today's world, where we're more connected than ever yet, often feel isolated, cultivating meaningful relationships is both a necessity and a challenge. Many people have hundreds of online friends but lack the deep, reliable connections that bring real value. Building a supportive network requires patience and intention. It's not about quantity, but quality. Seek out relationships that inspire you to grow, challenge you to reflect, and remind you of your worth. Sometimes we gravitate toward people who validate our views and comfort us, but it's equally important to have friends who offer a different perspective. A supportive network doesn't just bolster your confidence, it also provides a sounding board during difficult times, helping you to process emotions and make well-thought-out decisions. Friends who know you well can offer insights that you might overlook in times of stress, reminding you of your strengths and helping you see areas for improvement. Imagine the reassurance of knowing that no matter what you're facing, there are people who believe in you, who will stand by you, and who will remind you of your resilience. This kind of support isn't about dependency, but about shared strength. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wisely advised, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Reflecting on the relationships that enrich our lives is part of that privilege, a reminder that while we walk our paths independently, we do not walk alone. Over time, a well-balanced support network encourages you to pursue independence with greater courage, knowing that you have people to lean on if needed. Life's challenges become more manageable when you have a support system that believes in your ability to overcome them. It's like having a safety net that allows you to take risks and strive for goals without the fear of falling alone. The balance between self-reliance and connection is key. A strong support network enhances your independence by providing a foundation of trust and understanding. In your journey toward mastering your mind and emotions, remember that your relationships are not just companions, they're resources of strength, resilience, and perspective. In the end, building a support network is about creating an environment that encourages you to be your best self. Seek relationships that nurture, challenge, and empower you, rather than those that drain or diminish you. Choose friends who add value to your life and align with your values. Friends who will stand by you not just in easy times, but when life's storms arrive. Remember that true friendship, as the Stoics taught, is built on mutual respect, understanding, and a commitment to each other's growth. When you cultivate these kinds of relationships, you build a network that not only helps you navigate life's challenges but also enriches your journey in ways that go beyond the ordinary. 8. Focusing on personal goals. Focusing on personal goals is crucial for creating a life that aligns with your values rather than being swayed by the emotions, expectations, or agendas of others. Think of your goals as a target in the distance. The clearer and more defined your aim, the less likely you are to be sidetracked by the noise around you. Without a clear direction, it's all too easy to get swept up in the ambitions of others or feel pressured to meet standards that don't truly resonate with you. Setting personal goals provides a strong sense of purpose, acting as a guide that keeps you grounded, helping you establish emotional boundaries that protect your mental space. This approach is deeply rooted in Stoic wisdom. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control what happens around us or how others behave, we do have control over our own focus and priorities. As Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This powerful message urges us to take decisive action in our lives, rather than getting bogged down in endless deliberation or distraction. By setting clear goals, we can start living with intention, pursuing what truly matters without getting lost in the noise. Begin by identifying specific, achievable goals that align with your values. Goals don't have to be grand or ambitious. They just need to be meaningful to you. When you have a clear direction, it brings a sense of fulfillment and shields you from the emotional chaos that can come from following others' expectations. Setting personal goals not only gives you something to strive for, but also provides a filter, allowing you to discern which influences are worth your attention and which are distractions. Imagine someone who sets a goal to improve their health through regular exercise. By focusing on this purpose, they are less likely to be swayed by friends who invite them to skip workouts or indulge in habits that don't align with their health goals. Each choice becomes a small step toward their larger purpose, helping them maintain a clear mind and avoid unnecessary emotional baggage. If you don't have a defined direction, it's easy to fall into the trap of adopting others' goals, which often leads to frustration, resentment, and confusion. When we chase after what others think we should achieve, whether it's career success, material wealth, or certain social expectations, we risk disconnecting from what brings us genuine fulfillment. In today's world, where we're constantly exposed to others' accomplishments and lifestyles, staying true to personal goals requires a firm commitment. A man in his 60s decides to spend his retirement learning a musical instrument, something he always dreamed of but never pursued due to career and family obligations. Now, free from others' expectations, he dedicates himself to this goal, finding joy and purpose in each small improvement. By focusing on a personal goal that resonates with him, he gains a new sense of fulfillment, proving that it's never too late to pursue what truly matters. This example illustrates how powerful it can be to focus on personal goals, no matter what stage of life you're in. When you set your sights on what genuinely excites and fulfills you, external distractions lose their hold, and you're better equipped to handle life's inevitable challenges with resilience and purpose. Building and maintaining focus on personal goals also requires you to resist the temptation to carry emotional burdens that aren't yours. Often, we get pulled into others' concerns or worries, feeling a responsibility to solve their problems or take on their stress. But when you're clear about your goals, it becomes easier to recognize when to offer support and when to step back, allowing others to manage their own paths. Maintaining this balance keeps your emotional energy focused on your priorities. It's not about being selfish, it's about respecting your own mental space and understanding that you're most effective when you're aligned with your purpose. This clarity enables you to be a better support to others, as you're operating from a place of strength and inner peace rather than feeling overwhelmed or scattered. Staying focused on personal goals allows you to live intentionally, cultivating a life that reflects your true self rather than the influence of others. When you know where you're going, you have the strength to say no to distractions and stay aligned with your vision. This focus doesn't mean you close yourself off from others. Instead, it allows you to engage with others from a position of clarity and confidence, knowing that you're not compromising your own path. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best way to live is not to debate endlessly on what a good life should look like, but to create it with clear actions that align with our values. In focusing on your own goals, you are not only creating a fulfilling life for yourself, but also inspiring those around you to do the same. If you're still watching, you're already building the foundation for a stronger, calmer self. Type, "I'm ready for change" in the comments to mark the start of your journey. Don't miss what's coming up next. This is just the beginning. Is just the 9. Seeking therapy if necessary. Seeking therapy when necessary is a powerful step in mastering your mind and emotions. It's easy to think that we should be able to handle everything on our own, but there are times when a professional perspective can provide the insight and support we need. Imagine your mind as a complex orchestra, each emotion playing its own part. At times, the instruments may clash, creating a sense of internal chaos rather than harmony. In this metaphor, a skilled therapist acts as the conductor, bringing order, balance, and understanding to your inner world. Therapy isn't a sign of weakness. It's a tool for resilience and a journey into self-discovery, one that allows you to better understand yourself and take charge of your mental and emotional well-being. As Epictetus wisely said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Therapy can be a path to embodying the principles you value most, helping you turn philosophical ideals into lived experience by giving you the tools to understand and master your reactions. One of the greatest benefits of therapy is that it brings to light patterns in your thoughts and behaviors that might otherwise remain hidden. Many of us walk through life reacting to things without understanding the root causes of those reactions. Why does a particular situation trigger anger or anxiety? Why does a certain comment affect you so deeply? Therapy offers a safe space to explore these questions and uncover the beliefs and past experiences that shape your responses. By talking about your experiences, you gain clarity on why you feel a certain way in specific situations. This heightened self-awareness isn't just about identifying problems, it's about empowering you to create positive change. The Stoic philosophers encouraged self-examination as a path to strength, and therapy embodies this approach by helping you understand your mind in a way that leads to greater control and resilience. A modern story of a man who, after years of internalizing stress and responsibilities, finally decides to seek therapy when he notices his health and relationships starting to suffer. He finds that through therapy, he can talk openly about the fears and pressures he's kept bottled up for years. He learns that some of his reactions are tied to deeply ingrained beliefs about success and self-worth, beliefs he didn't even realize he held. With this new awareness, he begins to make subtle but meaningful changes, learning to set boundaries, communicate openly, and prioritize his well-being. Therapy doesn't change his responsibilities or eliminate life's pressures, but it does give him a healthier perspective and the tools to respond more constructively. This journey illustrates how powerful it can be to seek help when emotions feel overwhelming and life feels unmanageable. Therapy doesn't remove the challenges, but it teaches us how to face them with greater clarity and calm. When emotions feel overpowering, therapy provides both structure and support. Rather than letting emotions dictate your actions, therapy offers a framework for understanding and managing them. In many ways, it's like learning to drive. You're given the tools to navigate even when the road gets bumpy. Therapy helps you identify the early signs of stress or emotional triggers, allowing you to regain control before those feelings escalate. This guidance can be life-changing, especially when faced with intense or recurring emotions. Have you ever felt like anger or sadness was steering your life, leading to decisions you later regretted? Therapy teaches you to pause, observe those feelings, and choose how to respond rather than react. This shift can restore balance and allow you to engage with life in a way that feels intentional and grounded. Therapy also fosters accountability, challenging you to take an active role in your own healing and growth. It's a process that requires honesty, effort, and a willingness to look at parts of yourself you may have avoided. But through this process, you come to understand yourself more deeply and gain the confidence to face whatever life brings. Therapy teaches you to embrace your emotions without being ruled by them, turning self-awareness into a tool for personal empowerment. As you work with a therapist, you learn to confront and reshape your mindset, embodying the strength and balance that the Stoics valued so highly. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Therapy is a way to improve the quality of your thoughts, allowing you to cultivate a more resilient, positive, and peaceful mind. In a world where mental health still carries stigma, it's important to view therapy as a valuable and courageous choice. Far from being a last resort, therapy can be a proactive step toward building a stronger, healthier mind. Rather than struggling in silence, therapy gives you the tools to engage with life more fully, improving not only your relationship with yourself, but also with others. Seeking help is a sign of strength, a recognition that you value yourself enough to invest in your own growth and well-being. At the end of the day, therapy teaches us that we have more control over our emotions and reactions than we might realize. It empowers us to respond to life's ups and downs with clarity and compassion, making us more resilient, focused, and fulfilled. In taking this step, you embody the Stoic ideal of living with wisdom and courage, embracing both the highs and lows of life with a steady, empowered mind. 10. Being patient with yourself. Patience is essential on the journey toward mastering your mind and emotions. Think of patience as the foundation upon which emotional resilience is built. It's the steady hand that allows you to handle challenges without getting discouraged by setbacks. Learning to manage emotions is much like learning any new skill. Picture it as learning to ride a bike. You'll stumble, fall, and lose balance more times than you can count at the beginning. Yet, with time and practice, each fall becomes part of the process, helping you gain steadiness and confidence. This is the role of patience in our emotional growth. It allows us to stay committed without expecting perfection immediately. Remember the words of Seneca, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." This quote reminds us that each step, whether it's a success or a mistake, is simply part of a larger journey. In life, beginnings and endings are often entwined, and by being patient with yourself, you can view setbacks not as failures, but as necessary parts of growth. One of the key components of patience is self-compassion. In moments of emotional struggle, we're often our own harshest critics, quick to judge ourselves for perceived failures or lapses in control. However, self-compassion allows you to approach these moments with kindness, asking, "What can I learn from this experience?" rather than, "Why did I mess up again?" The Stoics believed that every obstacle offers an opportunity for growth, and embracing this perspective encourages resilience. Each time you struggle with anger, sadness, or impatience, there's a lesson waiting to be discovered. Instead of criticizing yourself, reflect on how you can use the experience to build a stronger foundation for the future. If you lose your temper in a difficult situation, use it as a chance to examine what triggered you and how you might approach similar moments with more composure next time. This practice turns setbacks into valuable insights, each one bringing you closer to mastering your emotional reactions. Patience also involves celebrating small victories along the way. When we're working on emotional growth, it's easy to overlook the incremental progress we make, focusing instead on the gap between where we are and where we want to be. But each small achievement, whether it's a moment of calm in a usually stressful situation or the ability to let go of a minor irritation, is worth acknowledging. When you practice gratitude for these moments, you reinforce your commitment to growth, reminding yourself that each step forward, no matter how small, is significant. This approach aligns with the Stoic view that progress is built gradually, through consistent, deliberate actions rather than dramatic changes. By recognizing your efforts, you create a positive cycle that strengthens your patience and motivates you to keep moving forward. In today's fast-paced world, patience with oneself can feel especially challenging. We're surrounded by messages of instant success, quick fixes, and overnight transformations which can create unrealistic expectations. But true emotional mastery is a lifelong journey, not a sprint. Real growth comes from understanding that personal development doesn't follow a linear path, and that setbacks are not failures, but rather part of the process. Have you ever noticed how much pressure we put on ourselves to have everything figured out? In reality, each day offers a new opportunity to learn, adjust, and grow, and by being patient, we give ourselves the space to make lasting changes. The Stoic approach encourages us to focus on what we can control, our responses, our attitudes, and our actions, without getting frustrated by how long the journey may take. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By focusing on the process rather than the outcome, you can find strength in each step, knowing that true mastery comes from patience and persistence. Embracing patience means accepting that progress may be slow but steady. It's about being gentle with yourself as you navigate the challenges that arise. Practicing patience doesn't mean avoiding high standards. Rather, it means understanding that growth takes time and that the most meaningful changes often occur gradually. Think of a gardener nurturing a seed. The plant doesn't sprout overnight, but with consistent care, it grows into something resilient and lasting. In the same way, by showing yourself patience, you create the conditions for deep, enduring personal transformation. Each small victory is a step in the right direction, and by maintaining a patient perspective, you allow yourself the freedom to grow without the burden of perfectionism. Ultimately, by being patient with yourself, you build a foundation of resilience and self-understanding. This patience allows you to view challenges as stepping stones rather than barriers. Instead of expecting yourself to be perfect right away, you recognize that personal growth is a process that unfolds over time. Each day, each experience, whether it feels like a success or a setback, contributes to your overall development. So, as you continue on this journey to master your mind and emotions, remind yourself to be patient, to forgive yourself for the times you stumble, and to celebrate the progress you make along the way. Remember that emotional mastery is not a destination but a journey, one that rewards those who walk it with perseverance and patience. So the next time you find yourself swept up in the tides of emotion, remember, a calm mind and a patient heart are your greatest strengths on this journey. The path to mastering your mind and controlling your emotions starts with self-compassion. If you've made it this far, share your commitment by commenting, "I choose peace and resilience." We'd love to hear your stories and insights. If you found value in today's video, please give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to Stoic In Your Life. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos on building inner strength and living with purpose. Thank you for being here with us. We're grateful for your support, and we'll see you in the next video.